Hi everyone, welcome to this video on getting started with creating Syncfusion text box component in a Blazor WebAssembly application. In this video, I will explain how to create a Blazor application and add the Syncfusion Blazor package. Then I will show you how to add the Syncfusion Blazor text box component to the Blazor WebAssembly application. After creating a text box, I will add prominent features like floating label, two-way data binding, validation, custom styles, float label, multi-line, read only, and disable the text box. To explore all the features of the text box component, visit our website link provided in the above YouTube card. You can create a Blazor application using either Visual Studio 2019 or Visual Studio Code. In this video, I will create a Blazor WebAssembly application using Visual Studio 2019. I have installed .NET Core SDK 3.1.3. To follow along with this video, one should have a basic understanding of C#, HTML, and CSS. You can also watch a descriptive video on Blazor and Syncfusion controls titled Create a Blazor WebAssembly app and add Syncfusion Blazor components, which I have shared in the YouTube card. Using Visual Studio 2019, I create a new project. I select the Blazor app template, provide the project name as My Blazor app, and click Create. I select the Blazor WebAssembly app template and I proceed by clicking the Create button. Now Visual Studio has generated a Blazor WebAssembly application. To use Syncfusion Blazor components, I need to install the Syncfusion Blazor NuGet package in my application. To do that, I open the NuGet package manager by right-clicking the project file and selecting Manage NuGet packages. Under the Browse tab, I search for the Syncfusion Blazor package. I select it and click the Install button. The installation is completed now. You can check the Dependencies folder and the Packages folder and you will find the Syncfusion Blazor package added to this application. Next, the Syncfusion Blazor service must be registered in the Services collection. For that, I open the program.cs file and use the Syncfusion Blazor namespace. Within the main method, I make a call to the add Syncfusion Blazor method. This makes Syncfusion Blazor services available within the application. Next, I must register a valid Syncfusion license key. To do so, in the first line of the main method, I call the Syncfusion licensing Syncfusion license provider class static method register license. You also need to pass your Syncfusion license key as a string parameter in the register license method. I have done this off screen. Within the root folder, open the index.html file. Within the head tag, add the required CSS file to render the Syncfusion Blazor components. In this example, I refer the CSS file from the installed Syncfusion Blazor package. Next, let me add the Syncfusion Blazor text box to the index component. To do so, I use the Syncfusion Blazor inputs namespace. Adding this namespace here will allow me to use the text box component markup in this index component. Also, I can import this namespace in the imports.razor page to make it available in all the Razor components within this application. I remove the existing code, type the S of text box tag, and set the width of 160px. I save the file and run the application. You can see the text box with the width of 160 pixels. Next, let me show you how to set the placeholder value. In the S of text box tag, I add the placeholder property and set the value as enter value. Let me save the file and run the application. You can see the text box with the provided placeholder value. Now, let me show you how to bind data to the text box using two-way binding. Two-way data binding can be achieved using the bind value attribute. It supports string, int, enum, datetime, and boolean types. To achieve it, in the S of text box tag, I add the bind value attribute and assign the value name. Within code directive, I create a property of type string, name, and assign the value Syncfusion. Let me bind this name property to a paragraph tag to show how the two-way binding works. I add a paragraph tag and set the content. Along with, I bind the name property. I save the file and run the application. You can see the text box and the paragraph tag with the value Syncfusion. Now I edit the text box value by typing the value Blazor text box and press enter. The value is updated in both the text box and the paragraph tag since the text box is two-way data bound. Next, let me show you the text box validation while clicking on a button in an edit form component. To do so, first I create a data model. In the code directive, I create a class customer and add a string property ID. I add the required attribute and set the error message value is required. I import the namespace, component model, data annotations. I create a customer type variable user and assign a new customer object. Now I remove the existing tags and add an edit form tag and set the model as user that I created just before. I add the data annotations validator component to attach validation support using data annotations. I add a div tag for alignment and set the class form group. Within this div tag, I add the SF text box and set the placeholder enter value. I add the bind value attribute and set the value user.id, the property I declared in the model class. I add the validation message tag to show the validation message for this SF text box component. I add the for attribute and set the user ID property using the lambda expression. I add a button tag and set the type as submit and add the class attribute with primary value. I add the style for the form group class. I save the file and run the application. You can see the text box with submit button. I click the button. The validation message appears with the provided error message. Now, let me show you the text box custom styles. Text box supports three types of custom styles, namely error, warning, and success. To enable them in the SF text box tag, I add the CSS class property and set the value as e-error. In the placeholder property, I change the value to error. I copy paste the SF text box tag and change the CSS class to e-warning and the placeholder value to warning. I again copy paste and do the same for success style. I save the file and run the application. You can see three text boxes with the custom styles, error, warning, and success. I type the word Syncfusion. You can notice that the placeholder value disappears when I provide value to the text box. I can customize the visibility of the placeholder text using the float label type property. Text box supports three types of float label. They are always, auto, and never. Let me show you how this works in code. In the first SF text box tag, I add the property float label type and set the value always. In the placeholder value, I change the value to always for better clarity. In the second SF text box tag, I add the property float label type and set the value auto. In the placeholder value, I change the value to auto. In the third SF text box tag, I add the property float label type and set the value never. In the placeholder value, I change the value to never. I save the file and run the application. You can see the first text box with the placeholder value always. In the second text box, it will automatically move upward when I enter the value to the text box. In the third text box, the placeholder value is never shown once we enter the value. Next, let me show you how to enable multi-line to the text box. I remove the second and third SF text box code. I remove the CSS class, float label type, and placeholder properties for better clarity. I add the multi-line property and set the value to true. In the ID property, I set a string value to show a default value. I save the file and run the application. You can see the text box with two lines. I can use the gripper to expand the text box. You can notice that the text box allows only vertical resizing. To avoid editing the text box value in the SF text box tag, I add the property read only and set its value to true. I save the file and run the application. You can see the text box is in a read-only state and the end user will not be able to change the value. Still, you can use the gripper to resize the text box to read the multi-line content. To disable the text box, in the SF text box tag, I add the property enabled and set its value to false. I save the file and run the application. You can see the text box is in a disabled state and the end user will not be able to change the value. If you need more information about Syncfusion Blazor text box component, you can refer to our online documentation. A link is provided in the description of this video. Finally, let me summarize the main points. I have explained the steps to create a Blazor application and add the Syncfusion Blazor package. Then I showed you how to add the Syncfusion Blazor text box component to the Blazor WebAssembly application. Finally, I explained how to add features like showing placeholder value, two-way data binding, validation, custom styles, float label, multi-line, read only, and disable the text box. You can download this working example from the GitHub link in the video description below. You can also check if you are eligible for our community license and get a free license key to use our Blazor products. If you found this video useful, click the like button and subscribe to our channel to get notifications about new videos. Thanks for watching.